Hello again, it's Lock Noob and you're watching my Lock Noob side channel, Side Noob, and I've just recently picked and disassembled the Abloy Disklock, which was kindly sent to me by Daz Evers. Quite a complicated little lock, certainly difficult. I'd put it up there with the maybe as difficult, if not a little bit more difficult than the Abus Plus core. Still good fun, if a little tricky. And this is just a reassembly because there aren't any videos on the reassembly of these really. They're tricky to put together, tricky to take apart in a sensible way. So I just want to try and go through some little pointers. So what I'll do is you've got these return bars, which if you look at my picking and disassembly video, you'll know that they are there to stop the core from rotating too far. Leave those to last, honestly. It also helps to have a little probe pick like this, just something thin. I got mine from like a snapped pick, but that's really useful to just get the discs to rotate around to the right position. Things to note are that you've got you've got a few things. You've got discs like this, which are there for tensioning discs. These must be in positions 4 and 11. I keep saying 1. 4 and 11. So this is the 11th disc. You also have these little spacers here, these washers, which go around in a particular way. Not rotation, not upside down kind of thing, but if you notice at the bottom here, there's a tiny little bit of fluting, and I think, well, certainly when I put my lot together, it works perfectly fine if they're all this way up with that sort of fluting to the left. So bear that in mind. The bottom disc, when I opened this one up, I don't know whether it's the same on all of these, but didn't have one of these spacer discs that act as a sort of internal lubricant on the inside. At first, it was just that tension disc at the bottom. And what you do is you have to build these up in layers, making sure that you get these little wafers, if you like, the right way round, and you just go through and add them in. Now notice that all your gates, true and false, need to face this part of the chamber, which is where your sidebar will sit. It'll make things easier to rotate them around to the right position. There we go, and then fling that across, come here. Trying to get it now, like that, and then this goes in like this, and we'll just keep going up, just putting these in. You'll notice that these discs also have a top and a bottom. The bottom has a little lip inside which will sit on top of the spacer underneath it. I'll just keep going through. And whatever you do, take your time to do this properly. It's not going to go back any faster if you rush, trust me. Not unless you're an amazingly experienced and adept hand at this, because the first time I tried to put this back together, I think I had to do it like 5 or 6 times to figure it out, because I didn't have a key, and it sort of automatically spilled its guts out when I opened it foolishly. So learn from my mistakes and just take your time stacking these up. Disc spacer, disc spacer, disc spacer. Almost there. Now, when we get to disc 4, we have to make sure that it is and I'm led to believe this is the same on all of these locks. It's disk 4, but could be wrong. Disk 4 is another tensioning disk. So you do want to make sure that that's in the right position. It'd be a lot easier if you did it on position 1, but that would be cheating. Try to not to fling your discs everywhere like I just did. And these should nest in quite nicely as it happens. Then we get to those return bars. Make sure that's right around. This is one of those, if you didn't see the video, this is a master disc. There are 2 in this lock. Make it a very small amount, probably about 5% easier to pick, because it's only on two out of the 11 discs. And then and it's still hard to find them. And then this one, and then the last spacer, and then it's the spinner at the top. Now, to get the return bars in, I get my probe and I slide it down. I just rotate these discs until they are away from this side, and I should be able to do 2 things, which is to slide one of them, I'll grab one of them down here, like that, and there should be room for the other one to go in there as well. But you can see I just need to make sure that this little wafer is sat properly. Good. And then the other one goes in here, not where you think, in the gap. So like that. I'll get it all the way down. If not, might need my little probe to wiggle things in. Yeah, there we go. Oh, good. It doesn't go down in that hole, although it will do. If you do that, the whole thing will not turn. They have to sort of be able to swap between their positions a little bit. So yeah, you don't want to try to push it down here. You want one there, then they'll swap between positions. Pop the top on like that, and we should be able to give it a little test turn to make sure that it's okay. Yep, you see that we can turn all of the discs freely and nicely, so we know we've got it working. That's the most important thing, really, just to make sure that it's right. In terms of the sidebar now, we need to get this little bit down on the inside like that. Get the sidebar, and that should just drop in. Now, if you really want to be neat about it, you can rotate all the discs to a true gate, and that will make being able to slot this into the lock in any position a wee bit easier. As it happens, this is going to be in its fully locked position. So if it's fully, so again, it's all about making sure we get this the right way round, but let's just throw it in to begin with. So I'm holding it together like this. You don't worry about the what I think is a flat, what did I call it? Flat like ball bearing type thing, and push that in where the sidebar is like that, and that's going to be in a locked position like that. See, and then we'd need to obviously, so you can rotate that a little bit, but it needs to go all the way around to open up fully, which it won't do, because all I can do really is just rotate the discs at a certain degree until they bind. It's not actually moving the cam at all. But anyway, so that's going to be in your locked position. Pop. What I'd like to do now, because it's not going to fall out very easily, is make sure that if that's locked, then this part has to be out. And if I rotate that clockwise, then it's going to pull this in. So basically what I want to do is make sure that this is in the right position, which I think is that way. There we go, there. So that this is out when this is locked. So that if I turn it, this will get pulled in by this little cam mechanism here. Then I pop on spring, pop in that washer, do it sort of upside down, which isn't too hard to do. If you can, it feels like you need 3 hands, but you can do it. Just sort of get it roughly right. Might need to do that again. Come on. Stay. Got it. And then find the screw holes, get your screwdriver, tighten it finger tight, and we're ready to go. So you can see that I can't open it by turning the discs, but I can turn the discs, and they're not hard to turn. That's the most important thing, and it means you've got your relocking bars, or whatever you want to call them, in the right position so they can swap over side to side without any trouble. Okay, good. But there we go. That's the Abloy Disklock reassembled. Hope you enjoyed that. If you like this kind of content and you want to see more content like it, then I'd really appreciate you dropping a like, maybe even subscribing to the channel. If you have any comments, want me to reply back to you, or try to read and reply to as many comments as I can, so please do that as well. It really helps the channel, and I'll see you all next time.